What is the dream game? Long story short, it's a motorcycle stunting game combining my two passions, motorcycle stunting and Roblox game development. This game is not driven by people wondering how much profit we can make. It's purely driven to be the best motorcycle game on the platform. Oh yes, the dream game. Once again, guys, welcome back. Today, we have a certified slapper. The last few dream game videos have not been the most content filled, but today we definitely have some stuff to work on, so let's jump right into it. First things first, we have 5 new buildings for the city, 4 of which are skyscrapers, and that is going to help the skyline. If we look right here, this image has looked about the same for the past little while. So let's change some stuff up. First things first, this building is gonna get replaced. It's gotta happen. A little delete on that, and then we will see which one of these fits the best. I personally really like this one, and I think it should be toward the front because it just has such a cool and unique shape. Make sure it all fits within the square we have. We'll need some sort of a small building here as well. The garage would actually work like quite well. The garage is a pretty nice fit right there. And then we can add on like a little side compartment for a big sort of warehouse next to it. That could work. I'd say overall that building fits at least pretty decent right there. Oh yeah. Now we have plenty more to add. 3 more skyscrapers. Let's grab this one. I have no idea where we're gonna put it. I think back here somewhere would be nice. All right, let's see if that will fit. It definitely will. Let's get it on the sidewalk. Since the ground, I think, is unioned at this point in time, we have to put the buildings on the sidewalk, and then we can move them backwards. This way, it stays straight with the sidewalk, and everything it works out. We want to make sure that is not floating, which it definitely is. Let's bring it down just a bit. Holy cow, dude, the sun shining through, absolutely nuts. 3 more buildings to place. This hospital, that is kind of important, and I think it's gonna go right here. We don't really have anything on this little hoop of the map, so I think it would be very nice to have the hospital, especially because later on in the game's life cycle, the hospital should have some sort of playability to it. Maybe you crash hard enough, etc. You will go to the hospital. Oh my gosh, this is quite a big build. And this also isn't really a squared area of the map, so we are going to edit this one just a little bit, but I do think it's a great spot for the hospital, like 1000%. I'm going to go ahead, start resizing some of these sidewalks and whatnot, trying to make this look just like it belongs here. I don't think it is going to be too hard. Oh yeah, that is looking pretty fantastic. We are going to have to edit just a few things because, as you can see, buildings aren't really supposed to be built like this. I'm not even sure what we will put here, but I am sure that we'll figure it out. This building is also a little bit too close for comfort, so we're going to move that. In fact, it might be nice to put grass around the hospital. I think that actually makes more sense than having it fully built on a concrete pad. I want to make sure that all the other buildings that are glitching inside of it get deleted, and then we may do a little bit of terrain work around it just so it looks nice and clean. I also really want to have a parking garage somewhere on this map, and I think like right here would be a perfect spot for one. We'll probably have to remove or move this building as well. Just have a little bit more space. Let's move that one over as well as this one, and that should give us plenty of space for a parking garage in the future. You already know we're gonna have to get some trees out here, make it look a little bit more lively. We'll put one on each side for now, and that'll get a lot better after we do terrain work. However, we have some more buildings to place. 2 more skyscrapers, and we're definitely running out of space to place them. They're just so massive. We could definitely put one right here. And then probably the last skyscraper in the entire game, at least for now, is gonna go... It gets a little too residential in this area, and we're probably gonna add more to that, so I don't want to put anything over there. I think pretty central city is where all of the skyscrapers should go, so this one we're gonna put in this area. Honestly, we could probably put some more back here. It doesn't take up too much space, and it's kind of just a strange area overall. Once again, some of this may be filled in with grass later, but for now, I think it's pretty all right. Let's take a look at our new skyline from my favorite position in the game, right here. Look at this. Look at this. It's kind of like almost too much. Which, in a good way, I hope. This building could definitely be tucked back quite a bit more. It just feels like too much, especially right next to a point of interest. So we're going to move that one back, move this one forward, and kind of see how that looks. I do think it's better, but it just feels like it blocks too much. So what we're actually going to do is just 3 skyscrapers in this back area. And I do think this one should be smaller. Oh yeah, I think that looks so much better. Anyways, now that we've placed all the assets, let's get into part 2. Now, placing a bunch of buildings that are already made is a great start to this video. However, we need gas stations. Guys, there's not a single gas station on this map, and it is about 12 base plates in size. So I do want to add a couple of them, and I think the first one is going to be right here, pretty close to the area where a bunch of people would likely be living. So I think it's a great spot for one. First thing we're going to need to do is a little bit of a block out here. And I think I want to do one of those gas stations that has the center building, something like this, and then it has the top going over absolutely everything. Like this, I think it goes out a little bit as well. And then there's usually like 2 gas pumps. Well, I guess 4 because gas pumps are double-sided. So something pretty much looking like this, except with a lot more detail. We're gonna need a little dummy for sizing. Honestly, store size is not that bad. Let me get a bit more of an in-depth block out so we know exactly what we're doing, but I do think it'll be really nice to have this gas station, and that will be another copy and pastable building 2 other times within the game, and then just change kind of the branding or color scheme of it. All right, with a little bit of a block out done, this should be pretty simple. I think I want to go with an overall green and blue, but I might go red and white for this one and then green and blue for another one. For now, these are going to be some pretty harsh colors, I gotta be honest. Let's do red and like yellow. I think there's gas stations like that. Now, for these guys right here, we're going to use our plugin called Beveler because it's the easiest way to just add some little curves on the edges, guys. It's going to make it look so much better. It does add in a couple more parts, but overall, I mean, bruh, it's just nice. We're gonna do the same thing down here. I think we're gonna do sort of a red roof. I think we need to go more towards like a crimson or maroon. The bright red is definitely back to my simulator days, and I'm trying to make a way better game than what I used to make. So we need to do better practices as well. I guess this CGA brown kind of works out well. It's looking a little McDonald's-esque, I gotta be honest. After making it metal, it definitely helps it at least a little bit. Now, these 2 things right here, I think I want to do a darker gray, something around here, and then we need to make those concrete because, yeah, plastic just doesn't really work well. It looks okay. We're probably gonna have to union them, which, you know, isn't exactly the best thing that we've got to do, but it makes it look so much better. Gets rid of all of that Z fighting, and I think a couple unions in a map isn't really going to throw it off too much. However, normally, I would highly recommend staying away from unions. Now we need to add in all of our window frames. We'll do a metal, something like this, I think works pretty well. And notice how I'm using 1 part instead of 2. A lot of times when people make windows, they'll make this frame and then copy and paste the frame to the other side. And guys, I'm here to say that is not always the best practice, because the less parts you can use, the better. And that's for literally everything. You toss 1 on that side, 1 on this side, and now instead of using 8 parts for these windows, we have used 5. Now I just got to throw them on the other side of the store as well. I did want to make this building enterable. There's been a lot of chat, and definitely some buildings need to have an interior as well, just to make the game feel a bit more alive. Now we could throw some windows on here. Let's grab a blue, change that from metal to glass, and up that transparency a little bit. I'd say around there works for me, and I think instead of blue, I want to go for like a black. I do just think it looks a little bit better for the more real builds. All right, let's start getting this thing a little bit more finalized. Now, I would love to kind of recess the roof like an inset, but I don't want to use too many more parts, so we're going to just kind of add detail to the stuff we have, and then see what we can add afterwards, with still being pretty reasonable here. So I'm gonna grab all of these parts. I think I want them to be a pretty nice white. And then here we have to unselect our plugin. Wall plaster. I think that's a pretty nice texture for the outside of this place. Oh yeah, definitely starting to come together. We might as well use the little window here as a door, and then we'll add a small crossbar on the door just so people seem like they can push or pull it. And then on these doors, it would actually have a metal spot on the bottom as well, because you can't just have glass sliding across the floor. Something like that. Now, there is something off, and that is, it's just kind of in the middle. It's not really a great thing here, and I also didn't group it while I was working on it. So now I get to grab every single piece. I think that's all of them. Let's go ahead and group it. There we go. And I think I want to put this right on the corner and use the road and sidewalk to sort of disguise the blockiness of this little ground area. So I'm gonna move it down just a hair so it's underneath this stuff. That's a little too far. All right, something like this. Now it's in line with the street and this little sidewalk. We're gonna move it out a little bit to about here. And I think, once again, it's gonna be something that will have grass around it. We're also gonna need some sort of a gas station sign. So let's throw one of those together real quick. I think we can use these beams, which I should definitely make quite a bit thinner, as gas station signs are definitely not huge. And for now, we'll throw a very temporary square on it. This will represent what the logo would be. However, I don't exactly have a logo or a name idea for this gas station at the moment. So we're just gonna kind of, we're gonna just brand it like this, you know, nothing too crazy. I also think I want this to be facing this way, a little bit closer. And then I want some sort of grass boundary or barrier to this gas station. So it feels sort of, you have to come in from the road. Now, how I want to make that, I'm not too sure. So maybe we could take a piece of the sidewalk. Heart to terrain, please bless me. All right, well, with a little bit of editing, I'm sure we can make it work. All right, here we go, bros. Oh my, that's gonna be a little tough. Strength all the way down. All right, wish the best, guys. It's not perfect, but I guess neither is terrain in real life, especially in this part of town. I just want to contain it like a little. That was perfect. Jeez. I don't know when I got the sauce. Oh, the sauce is gone. Yes, guys, something like that is not too bad. Let's go get some bushes and some trees to put here as well. And maybe build something out front just so the building itself doesn't look as bland. And I would say, at least for now, this gas station is a good addition to the game. I really like how this grass border turned out. It's gonna help separate it from the city, as well as sort of just contain it, so it doesn't feel like it was just placed there randomly. Now, guys, we've been building for a good little bit of time today. Let's hop into a little bit of a bonus clip. If you are unaware, we have this testing game that you can play whenever you want. I'll put the link down below in the description, and you can check out these motorcycles, and we have been adding stuff into this testing place like this, where you can hit things and they'll sort of fly away. Check it out if we hit this little longer stretch of things. Boom, it is very satisfying. And we need to add that on to the main map. To start everything off, I think I want to put it to every single light pole that we have throughout the city. And there's quite a bit of them, and I definitely don't want to do it by hand. The main things you need is to add a tag that we called it destructible. I guess it doesn't really matter what you call the tag, but that is its name. So we need to add that tag to every single model, as well as give them a primary part. I think there's an easier way to do this. So I'm just gonna ask Panda to write me a little command, and hallelujah. I butchered that so bad. All right, fellas, if you look at the bottom of my screen, for Game workspace, streetlights, get children, do, if, is, a, code and whatnot. We're gonna press enter and all of these light poles should now be destructible. Oh my gosh, I did not anchor the gas station. I don't know if I anchored the skyscrapers either. Oh, this could be a little bit of a disaster. All right, we're in and the skyscrapers are not falling over, so I would say we're doing pretty good. Now, if we hit a light pole, does it destroy? Let's see. Yes, it does. I think we'll do that to the trees as well. Not today, but maybe some other time. Because I think it would just be really satisfying to mow down the trees, the light poles, heck, even the stoplights on intersections. I think that would be really fun too. Plus anything else we add. Construction. Here's the hospital. Not bad. Look at that. You can drive through the drive-through. Oh man, the map is coming together so beautifully. But guys, I do think that is gonna wrap it up for today. If you did enjoy and you want to see more content like this, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day. Later.